If you've ever wanted to see some of the most beautiful belt work done in Satisfactory, well, today's your lucky day, because that's what we're going to be doing with these 160 refineries here. So hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where today we will hopefully see all of these machines running. And in total, we should be able to make about 9,000 plastic per minute. And the good news is we've done most of the complicated pipe work, so now we have half of the materials we need to get this building running. Like I said, we still have to do all of the belt work to get all of the pieces together. So we have to bring all of the polymer resin from this system over to that system. And the rubber from there has to go downstairs and make plastic. And then some of this plastic has to go back upstairs over to here to make more rubber, which will then go back downstairs to make even more plastic. Oh yes, things are gonna get crazy today. But if you're excited for that, remember to leave a like, and if you love Satisfactory, check out lizarddoggo.com and use my promo code KIBITZ for some extra goodies at checkout. And of course, link in the description. But anyway, we have an insane amount of work to do. Tons of belts to hook up to different subsystems to make everything actually work here and make our 9,000 plastic per minute. So right now we have crude oil that's making heavy oil residue and polymer resin. The heavy oil residue is being turned into fuel. That was the mega system that I was showing off just a second ago over there. So that's all done, and we don't have to worry about that until a little later. The polymer resin though, we were just dumping that into some awesome sinks for testing purposes, but now we're actually gonna be using that to make rubber. The whole idea behind what I'm building right now rests on one alternate recipe to make recycled plastic. So it takes fuel and rubber. So we're gonna need lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of rubber to make lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of plastic. And this is step one. So we have 3 belts of the polymer resin. This belt here is a bit of a weird one, so we're gonna have to fiddle with that a little later. But the other 2 actually produce the same amount of material. And this needs water as well. We'll worry about that later. For now, belt work wise, just so we have something kind of wrapped up, I'm just gonna bring the belts down this way. So I think it's 2 belts of 750 resin per minute. And then the last belt is 200. And each of these machines needs 100 resin. Okay. So then most of it will just overflow forward through 7 machines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's gonna use up most of the belt's worth of polymer resin, at which point we're gonna have to have a merger, and then we're gonna have to start splitting stuff up again. The merger is gonna combine half of the 200 line back into this other belt, and that way we can just overflow to the next, or I guess the last 2 machines. And that should be the polymer resin setup. But then there's also the water. And each machine takes 100 water each. All right, well, we need 1,800 water then if there's 18 refineries. That leaves us with a couple options. Number 1 option is we could just go to these puddles out front and put some water extractors and pipes around here. But we're never gonna do that because I want to keep the aesthetic. We hid all of the other water extractors we needed underneath those puddles, and I do not want to sacrifice anymore. So instead, we're going on a little journey. We have some other pipe infrastructure built for the oil here. So we're just gonna follow the line until we find a puddle to yoink water from. Like this one right over here. We have power around here too, love to see it. So 1,800 water. Each of these extractors can pull 300 per minute if fully overclocked. So that's like what, 6 of these then? It's not too bad. Those will just be hooked up, brought up this tower, and scoop back. But that's gonna be the easy part. Hard part is gonna be actually bringing the water into all of these machines, because we have to bring like a ton of fuel over here. We have to do the belt work to get plastic out of these buildings. There's this in the way still, like, things are gonna get complicated and busy. I'm sure I'll be able to make it work out, but we'll see how that goes. Right now, let's just feed this one system. So it's 1,800 water for all of these machines here. So divide that by 2 is 900 per side. Okay. Well, then we could just have one 600 pipe of water going down this way. Come on, don't, what is, I don't know what's going on there, that was weird. But anyway, 600 water to there. And it'll run the last little bit of water up this way to there, and to the last couple machines. And that should be pretty straightforward. Looks like we have enough space for this. And we can just copy this whole design to the other side. Oh, lastly, of course, the output. What are we gonna do with all the rubber? How much rubber are we gonna make? 18 times 50? That's gonna be a number, isn't it? Not a bad number, 900. We can't fit that all in one belt, but we can get pretty close. Instead, we can just make our lives a little bit more simple. And we can combine all of the outputs from both sides onto one line each. So we'll just go kind of down the line here with mergers. And then again, copy it to the other side. So I'd say we got it all figured out. But of course, a couple things get changed in between planning and building, and a couple pipes were brought different ways, belts other directions, and end of the day, same concept applies. Main thing I was just trying to do is save space over here, because over here is where everything goes insane. The idea over here is we're gonna be making even more rubber, and we have like 32 machines. So 150 times 32, big number, lots of belts. And that's not even the difficult part, that's just the output. The input is the difficult part, the fuel. What is it, 32 times 75? 2,400? Wait, that's not difficult at all. It's kind of funny, I have a spreadsheet where I have all these numbers down, and the real number we need in here is 2,278 fuel per minute. But I never really thought that that's just like 4 fuel lines. Yeah, 2,400 divided by 600 is 4 fuel lines, easy. Okay, that's reassuring. It just gets a little weird down this way. But these are all of our fuel lines. And each of them doesn't actually have 600 fuel per minute. Each of them has 500 fuel per minute. So, that's where things get a little weird. Oh, wait, except for this one. This one is not as it seems. It is actually a 300 pipe. So, wait, that just makes things even easier. Because we need, technically, 2,278. So that's 500. Yeah, this is 2,000 right there. And the extra 300. Okay. I think that means this is even easier than it already was? 500? Yeah, no, literally. Get all this out of the way, thank you. And all of these guys, I guess we'll just go out towards that wall over there, and we're kind of done. Just a lot of cleanup to do around here, and then at that wall, we're able to scoot right upstairs to where we need to be. So I think we can assume we'll just have the fuel up here. And let's get to building with it. So each pipe is 500, and then we'll say this one is like the 300 pipe. So we'll just throw that kind of off over there for now. These 4 pipes, they're 500 each, which is super, super weird. 500 divided by 75 is not a nice number. So we're gonna do another kind of overflow system where we're gonna raise the pipes way up because we have to leave room for belt work, right? We'll have the 2 600 pipes. That will go through about 6 machines here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then things get a little spicy. So similar to how we had the polymer resin go into a merger, we're gonna do the same thing, except now with fuel. We're gonna have the top line of 500 mixed with the bottom line of whatever's left, and kind of refill the line to overflow into the next couple systems. That should work out fine. And then, just to make sure nothing gets all messed up, we're gonna have to have lots and lots of valves. Because this is gonna be a 500 pipe, there could be some backflow of material and we cannot have that. So the valve should stop all of that kind of nonsense. That also means moving forward, we can go through another 6 machines. So that could be like to there or something. And finally, the last couple machines, we'll just take from this 300 pipe and we'll divide it in 2. So half of it will get stacked on top of here, come all the way over this way. It'll be again on top of this, and then do the same thing that we did with the last 500 line, where we'll have it just scoot into the line beneath it to refill it up. But it's a little bit easier to visualize once everything's actually done here. So yeah, we have the 300 line inject into the lines beneath it, That fills it back up so it can go into more machines. And yeah, down the line we go, where we just keep topping up the fuel line so it's able to reach to the very end of the system and make all of the recycled rubber. And the plastic belting was really simple too. Half of it will have to come from one side, then half of it from the other, all from downstairs to load it all up. Now our big worry is the rubber that is coming out of this machine. So all of this rubber, along with the rubber from the system over there, has to be belted into everything we have going down here. It's gonna be crazy. I'm very scared of doing this. I only left myself one foundation of workspace to do all of the belt work and all of the pipe work. How is it gonna look? How is it gonna turn out? I don't know. Honestly, I'm a little too scared to work on it just at this moment. Let's deal with something else we have to kind of fiddle with. We have all of these pipes over here. All of them have been cleaned up, luckily, so it's a little easier to work. The thing is, though, we have to balance them. Similar to our problem upstairs, where it would have been way easier if these were 600 pipes, the same situation is happening now for these refineries, where I'd really prefer their 600 pipes, because we're dealing with 75 fuel per minute per machine. And in the weird world, 600 divided by 75 is 8. But then if we just kept the 500 lines we had, that gets, again, super spooky. So I don't want to deal with the upstairs nonsense down here. No way, no sir. So we're gonna be doing some pipe balancing. We're gonna put all of these pipes together and make them each into a 600 pipe. So a couple ways about that. Number one is we just get a 500 pipe, combine them together. That forces this one to be a 600 pipe. Then we do something like this, where we have the excess, which would be 400 going this way. We set a valve in for it, a valve in for it, and we just put that to 400. Then we do the exact same thing with every single pipe here. But see, that's gonna take up a ton of space and probably not look very good. But I have a different idea. It might probably not work, but it could work, and you know what? I like that idea. Okay, so stick with me here, because it's gonna sound like a really bad idea. But again, it could work. The idea is, first, we have to actually spread out these pipes, so 1 second. Okay, so something like this, right? Then, we're just gonna combine all of the pipes together with these junctions. And you see, I'm thinking of the fluids like Play-Doh. We're gonna make all of the exits for the pipes 600 lines, right? And then what's gonna happen here is we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. We have 4,500 fuel per minute, divided by 600, 7.5. So that means we take out one of you, we throw on a 300 pipe, because half a 600 pipe is a 300 pipe, and then we make the rest of these 600 pipes. And when we combine this whole system together, the fluids should be forced out into 600 pipes and then the one 300 pipe. Yes? Like, I feel like the logic checks out. And thank goodness, because of all that pipe balancing we did before, all of this was very rudimentary. Just literally the 8 machines, go forward, off we go to space. It got a little weird near the end because some of these machines at the end of the line are severely underclocked, but then I just brought some fuel around from different places, did some other weird things, and at the end of the day, it should be fine. I did a lot of this work on a live stream, by the way, and huge shout out to the people that are in my live stream chat, because I was talking to them about this whole balancer idea, and you know what? They were saying it should possibly work too. Only other thing is I took out one pipe right in the middle here, just so some of the numbers worked out a little bit easier. Then I cleaned it all up so it looks a little bit nicer. Did a little bit of extra balancing where we had to bring, like, what is it? 52 fuel per minute from A to B in that pipe, and yeah, little nitpicky things. And the live stream chat I was talking to said it should work, so that means it should work. So now it's time to deal with the nightmare. The part of this project I've been dreading since its inception. Figuring out how to load and unload all of the rubber into this system. Oh man, this is gonna be interesting. Very, very interesting. So we have to bring that rubber that we're making upstairs here, downstairs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 belts. Well, that's great. We're gonna have to bring the belts along the roof. That is the only option, really. So we'll have the belts come through the floor here. There's gonna be a wall at this location. And then you might be like, oh, Kibs, you have the platform in the air you're standing on. Why don't you just use this for all of the rubber belts? This platform and its mirrored counterpart on the other side is gonna be for the plastic output. So the plastic, we're actually just gonna bring up and then over and then bring it to where it has to go. Because some of this plastic is just gonna go to like a train over there, or some of this plastic needs to go upstairs to make the rubber system work, and then a huge other chunk of the plastic has to go all the way over there. So it's gonna be a whole cacophony as well. Thus, these belts on the ceiling. It'll make future Kib's life possible? It's gonna say easy, but no, like, it's gonna be, I don't even understand how it's gonna go, to be honest. So all these belts will be coming on down. We'll make it look pretty in a second, trust me. And if we're building all of these belts on the ceiling, usually what I'd do back in the day, so I'd just put a wall in there, then I'd put a conveyor wall underneath, and another one. Then we can just go ahead, go down the line, and I guess you can kind of see what's going on here. We effectively are putting the conveyors on the ceiling, because that will reach from there to there. Okay, you see the idea. Example made. Except that was the old way of doing things. Nowadays, we have beams. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a beam going across the room as kind of like a structural support thing for the aesthetics, and also it will hold up the 7 belts that are over here, as we can build on top of the beams. So we'll do that. That's 3. Stack a belt on top. 4, 5, 6, and then the 7th, well, I don't know, just go in the middle here. I don't really care. But that's the general idea. And then those will go forward to another set of beams. And then all those beams will end up here. All of the belts, once they get down here, will then be load balanced and entered into the system. Oh, but past Kibs was such a saint. Notice the lack of pretty much any load balancing here. Yes, it's all nice and clean. Literally just belts going down this way and into the system over here. It was simple because upstairs, just by chance, I managed to make all of the belts 750 lines of rubber. And that is exactly what we need down here because all of these things need 75 rubber per machine. So, math checks out. Just take 1 belt, feed that into 10 refineries, and we're done. And fortunately, everything just barely fit in this very small space here. Holy, but it was close. But it worked out. So everything now is belted into the system and we are good to go. Last piece of the puzzle is just the outputs. And then we can get the whole system running. Oh, but of course, there was like a little bit of load balancing. Look, I won't lie. These 2 lines kind of fiddled with things a little bit, but ended up being okay and fine. Oh, and there's also an awesome sync here because when I was doing all my math, I only went to like 3 decimal places, and long story short, that made us end up with like 30 extra rubber per minute that we have to get rid of. It's a whole thing. Doesn't matter though. Let's get to the fun stuff. Fortunately, because of prior planning, we have plenty of room to deal with the outputs. Most of which are gonna be coming over this way. And similar to everything else, we're gonna merge these into big 780 lines, and then we're gonna go towards this tower here. This tower over here is supposed to be our main logistics tower. So all of the belts and pipes that we need to get out of the way we'll just scoot over here and we'll be good to go. So most of the belts for this factory will be going over that way. Because like I was saying earlier, we're making like 9,000 plastic per minute here, but it's being divided up all over the place. 2,300 of the plastic made down here is going back upstairs to combine with the fuel to make more rubber that will make more plastic. So that leaves us with like 6,800 plastic per minute. 2,000 of that is going over to that train station, which then goes back to our aluminum build, which will end up making batteries way over there. And then the rest of the plastic will end up going way over to that side of the world to make supercomputers and crazy other things. So yeah, gotta break things up a little bit. But oh my gosh, I've been doing belt work all day today, and you know what? At some point, I think you guys get the picture. You combine and undo lines until you get the numbers you want and things go to places, okay? Cool, cool. It's all done. I'm not losing my mind, you are. Oh yeah, that only took forever. But all the plastic should be going to the places where it should be. Again, most of it going over to that tower, some of it going over that way, and then some of it going back upstairs to make the other systems work. Oh my gosh, breathe, kids. Okay, how do we turn it all on? It's time. We need to test it out. I want to see this thing run, brother. Where is my power line? Right there. Now, where do we actually want to power things up first? I guess we want to power upstairs first, and then we will power on this part. Because to get the whole system running, we need the heavy oil residue moving around again, and that means we need the polymer resin being used up. So that is going to be scooted into rubber. That'll go downstairs to get the systems downstairs started up, and that will make plastic. Some of that plastic will come up here, and that will slowly get these rubber systems running. So they're the next to get powered on. Guess we will just connect that up to that, and then, I don't know, let's just do something temporary because, oh man, I know for a fact I'm gonna be doing some troubleshooting for a couple hours. I'll have plenty of time to clean things up. Yep, there's that rubber from upstairs, looking good. And finally, the main system down here, which ties everything together so we can rock and roll. Where do we bring this power line to? Again, nah, it's just temporary. Just connect it to there, call it a day. Not forgetting about any pumps, no. Good. Only other thing I can think of is we want to flush, because we need room in the pipe network for all of the heavy oil residue to be used up and make new fuel. Means we should see some plastic, eh? Nope, that's the rubber again. Where's the plastic? Need to see some plastic here. Oh, there it is! It's just downstairs. I just forgot to bring it upstairs to make more rubber and get the rest of the system running. Whoopsies. So now we're making some plastic. Man, it's nice to see it get started, you know? Just seeing every factory get started for the first time, it's just such a special occasion. And also just seeing everything actually put together for the first time is like, oh my gosh. Like, this is the craziest machine I've seen in the game. It's just so dense. And as I imagined, it was just a million little problems like those that we saw that I just needed to dabble with and fix. But the plastic is flowing very smoothly now, and there's one last thing I want to do. Oh, this is a terrible idea. Absolutely terrible. But we're gonna turn on all of the lights. I have these beautiful lights set up above all the refineries, but there's so many things going on down here that my game is going to probably crash once I turn the lights on. So FYI, sorry about the lag preemptively. How is this possible? Really? I can't believe it. Well, that is a beautiful sight to see then. What a treat. However, though, that's gonna be all for now, so I hope you guys enjoyed and thank you for watching, but have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.